Hello everyone. This week we will talk about imagery and analysis in ArcGIS Online. As we're going through the content this week, what I'm hoping that you can focus on is the data that is available within ArcGIS Online and the various analysis tools that are available. I'm not necessarily asking you that you master every analysis tool, but just to have a really good idea of what tools are available and what their purpose are, because as we move forward in the course, we're going to start developing and building our own web mapping applications, and you can build those analysis tools into your web mapping applications as well as the imagery into your applications. So that's really the importance of this week, is to really understand what's available so that as we move forward, you have some idea of what kinds of things you can be making your apps do for you. So we're going to start with the imagery and in ArcGIS Online. And there are a number of imagery data sets available within ArcGIS Online, in particular in the Living Atlas. In the Living Atlas, two primary areas that house imagery that can be used are the base maps and the imagery categories. And when we look at what's available under those categories, you're going to see things that look like this. And the list that I'm about to show is not an all-inclusive list. There's a lot. But these are probably some of the more popular and more widely used imagery data sets within ArcGIS Online. So first, there's Sentinel satellite imagery, and Sentinel imagery is 10 meter by 10 meter resolution, and Sentinel-2 is a project of the European Space Agency. It's kind of like the those of you that know about Landsat, it's the European Landsat. So imagery is available from Sentinel-2, and with that, it's 13-band imagery, so we can do renderings in various ways. And those of you that had remote sensing already fully understand what that means, but even if you haven't had the remote sensing class yet, just know that we can be rendering our satellite images to look at various phenomena in a little bit more close detail. There's also natural color imagery from the National Agricultural Imagery Program, and there's also color infrared data available through NAIP. So this is at a continental scale. As it says here, the resolution is 1 meter or better. And again, those could be found just by accessing the Living Atlas within ArcGIS Online, which I'll show you in a moment. Some other really popular imagery and elevation data sets that are available in ArcGIS Online are the Landsat that I just referred to when I was talking about Sentinel. The Landsat imagery is 30 meter by 30 meter resolution, so quality is not as good as the Sentinel data, and there's about 10-11 bands for Landsat 8. And then you have the pan-sharpened Landsat, which just uses the 15-meter panchromatic band to sharpen the multispectral Landsat data. There's MODIS data available, and then train data. So if you remember from your previous classes, we worked with digital elevation models. This is a train data set that is available, and then from that trained data set we can generate things like slope, aspect, view shed, and some other things. So really good imagery repositories within ArcGIS Online, which is really awesome for us because it means that we don't have to do any data collection to get access to that imagery. So let's go to ArcGIS Online and see how we can bring this in. I'm actually going to just start a new tab here. And when I go to my new tab, and I'm going to go to the map option, that data that I was just showing you can be added by using this option here within ArcGIS Online. You hit add and you go to browse Living Atlas layers. From here, you're going to get just everything that's within the Living Atlas, whether or not it's imagery, demographics, and so forth. So you can search on various keywords, and I'm just going to search on imagery, and you can see what is available here. And I'm going to actually look for that Sentinel Imagery. I might just, there it is. So here's the Sentinel Imagery. When you click on it over in your contents area, it gives you a description of the data set, and you can read on and on about it. Then you can add it to your map in one of two ways. You can add it to the map as a data layer that's going to be overlaid this base map that you see here, or you can use it as the base map itself, so that it actually replaces the one that you are previously are looking at right now. For now, I'm just going to add it to the map. And it adds the Sentinel imagery to the map. You might be saying, well, what good is that? Look at that. That looks like just a bunch of tiles and boxes. And it is, because as when Sentinel data is collected, it's collected on a tile level, and then all those tiles are mosaicked together for the imagery. Once you start scrolling into a particular location, you're going to see that tiling go away. And let's actually come up here to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to take a gander at what's that looks like up here. And so you can see what the Sentinel image gives you. Now, to do a little bit more with this imagery, we can click on the three little dots there, or the more options dots, and then you're going to see down here there's a couple of different options available for imagery. There's image display order, image filter, and image quality. So image quality is probably the easiest one. This is basically deciding, do you want this to redraw faster, or do you want a better looking image to display? So you have to make that decision, and I'm just going to stay middle of the road here for this. And frankly, I might actually opt for performance right now, because I'm hoping that it does things quickly for me rather than look as sharp. So now that I set that quality, I'm going to go to image display, and this is really kind of like the meat of the imagery tools in here. This allows you to render your imagery using different renderers. Like we can see that right now this is natural color with DRA. DRA stands for dynamic range adjustment. Essentially what that means is that when you zoom in on a particular area of your map, it's going to dynamically display the pixels so that you have the best looking image on your monitor. And you can see everything that's available with this. You have agriculture, color infrared, shortwave infrared, and so on down. So you can take a look at the options that are available here. But again, for those of you that have taken the remote sensing class, a lot of this looks really familiar because we work with a lot of these data sets within ArcGIS Pro. And I'm just going to actually select the color infrared and then hit apply. And notice that it changes the rendering of my imagery. Here is ways that we can enhance our imagery. And these various stretches that we apply basically are using the image histogram. Each pixel has a value, and that image histogram shows all the values of the pixels, and what the stretches do is stretch those pixels out in different ways. So here we can select the stretch types to see what they do, and these might not perform. They don't always perform because it takes a while for them to apply. So hopefully you'll see some difference in these as I'm talking. And let me see, pick another one. Hopefully we have a better result. Apply. And we are not having a better result. Love live demos. So let's actually change some of these to see if that helps change things up. But the long and short of it is these stretches are meant to enhance your imagery and meant to make features pop more within the imagery. So you can be using these stretches to just be able to discern features from one another. So all of this is available in here. These same things are available in ArcGIS Pro. With imagery, they work a lot more reliably than trying to display them via an online connection. And when we go to the remote sensing class, you're going to see how to apply stretches, DRA, and lots of other image enhancement tools to this data. But just know that they are available in here. And probably even more importantly is that you have the ability to render your data in multiple ways using different bands of data. And you can see again what is available, what they show, and what is the band combination being used for that particular image. So then going back to this, this is just again showing you where to make the selections for rendering imagery within ArcGIS Online. And then talking about the image enhancement. And essentially this is just, again, like I said, it lets you change up the brightness settings, the contrast settings, and the gamma settings. And essentially is taking your image histogram that you have and stretching it out over the available range of values so that areas don't appear so dark, there's more contrast, and you have the ability to discern features a little bit more easily. And these are the image enhancement techniques that are available within ArcGIS Online. And I'm always really cranky about this because my favorite one, the histogram equalize, which is I think the one that does the best job in terms of enhancement for a lot of cases, is not available within ArcGIS Online. These are the three that are available. So the minimum maximum is when values in your histogram are really tightly grouped. Like I mean super tightly grouped. This is a good one to use. The standard deviation is used when to brighten the raster data sets that appear pretty dark. So they all have their uses, and really there's no one right answer or one that's better than the other. It all really is contingent upon the data set that you have, and really it's just a matter of experimentation. Like I don't see an image as like, oh my god, I gotta apply a minimum maximum stretch that. I don't. I just kind of toy with all of them to see which one gives me the best result, and then just go with that one. As I mentioned, there are other imagery settings to help enhance your imagery. One is dynamic range adjustment, which means that statistics are only calculated from the pixels that are displayed on your screen. So the imagery that's not being shown at the screen at the time, it's not calculating stats for that, and it's then drawing and enhancing based on what you're seeing on your screen. And then gamma just refers to the level of contrast between mid-level gray values, and you can play around with that again to get a little bit more contrast in your imagery. Other imagery that's available within the Living Atlas is called the Wayback Imagery, and you can actually pull this Wayback Imagery into ArcGIS Pro as well. But for the sake of the ARC course, which is WebGIS, we probably don't need to do that as much. But to access the Wayback Imagery, you can go to the link that you see here, and essentially what this imagery is showing, you are all familiar with the Esri base maps. We've used them for many different things, and you're familiar with the imagery base map. These are old versions of that imagery base map. So Esri started keeping a catalog of these, and it goes back to, I believe it's February 2014 is when the first one is, and then all the way up until, now, which one is being used. And the cool thing about this is, or let me back up. why you might want to use this. A couple different reasons. Why might be to show change due to some type of event. Like let's say Hurricane Laura. We want to get imagery from, say, 2014. This has that imagery from there that we can get that before picture, and we can actually see the before picture, all the way up until, it would be this date here, so that you can do the before and after for that hurricane. So it's really useful for things like natural disasters to show that before and after type of thing. It's also really useful is if the base map that you're using for your area, if there's something wrong with it. Like there are times these base maps have like brightness issues or some type of banding or color issues. You can revert to an old version of the base map and use that instead of using the one that Esri currently has. So it's great for that reason as well. And loads of other applications, just like if you want to even see housing developments over time, all of that, this is a useful set of imagery to have. So if you want to learn more about the release, you just click on that little sucker, and then it takes you to the details page of ArcGIS online. And then if you want to add this particular release to ArcGIS Online, you just pick the one that you want, hit the plus button, come over here, and click that. Yes, allow. And it will create a Wayback Imagery map for you, and you can retitle it, it'll tag it and so forth, and hit create map, and then open the map. It will take you into your ArcGIS Online account, and then this is now saved in my content area as a web map called this. And if I want to open it to look at it, I just click Open Map Viewer, and that data set will open in the contents area. So again, great for various applications that you might need it for looking at urban growth, farmland destruction. I mean, you name it. There's lots of applications, but the one thing to remember is that this only goes back to 2014. So if you want to do something that is showing change previous to that, you can't really do it with this application. You can do it with others, but not with this application. But this is a really cool archive, simple, super easy to use and access. So it's why I like showing this particular repository of data. And yeah, the collection begins on February 20th, 2014. So the last thing I'm going to talk about in this particular topic is the fact that there is terrain data available within ArcGIS Online that you can be using. And just like with the satellite imagery, how you can take that terrain data and render it in different ways, the same thing is true with this data set, where we can render the elevation with aspects, hill shade, slope, and so forth. So let's go back to ArcGIS Online and take a look at that. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm actually going to get rid of my Sentinel data out of here. I'm going to just remove it to kick it out of there. So now we want to go and add the terrain data. Let's say that I want to have the terrain data for this area here, just north of Harrisburg, where Peters Mountain is, and so forth. And actually, Peters Mountain is this one. It's up here. So to add the terrain data set, again, we go to Browse Living Atlas Layers, and here I'm just going to clear out that search, and then the terrain is the second one, but if it was not the second one and you couldn't find it, you can just do the search for it. If you click on it again, it tells you what this data set is, and it tells you exactly the details and so forth, and what you can derive from that. So I'm going to add it to the map, and when it adds to the map, it's going to be this grayscale type of thing, and it's really dark because it probably needs to be stretched. And actually, let's see if we can apply something that would actually just help it out a little bit. There we go. That helps a little bit. And you can kind of see now what the stretches do, like they didn't do in the last example. And that one does not do anything good. And let's see if that helps. And I'm just going to go back to, it was standard deviation was the one that gave us the most contrast. So here you have your digital elevation model for this area of Dauphin County in central Pennsylvania. And I'm going to go back here. Now if I click on the three little dots, the more options dots, you can then go to image display and just where we were, and then you can use one of the define renderers. So if you take a look at these, you're going to see what the renderers are and what they are showing you. And let's say that we want a slope map. This is going to give us the slope map. We can select a color scheme that we want, and I don't want that one. I probably should have just left it alone. I'll use this one. This is the most common one associated with slope. So I'm going to hit apply, and we can see that it generates this slope map for Dauphin County. We can also change it to other ways of rendering. There's the hill shade. If I click that, you can have a nice hill shade data set. And again, I would probably play with the stretch types to see if we could get it to look a little bit sharper. But it's not making it look sharper here. But you have those available to you. So again, the point in showing you these data sets is remember they exist because they're important when we start building applications where you want to have your map audience asking questions about elevation or imagery, or you need that to build an application. You know exactly what is available within ArcGIS Online to use, so that you don't have to potentially go get your own data to use for that application. So these can be super helpful and time saving in web mapping development. So then with that, one last thing to mention before we close this section out. Some of the imagery uses within ArcGIS Online, or those web mapping applications that I was talking about that really kind of feed off of these things, are like county parcel viewers. I think all of you have looked at a parcel viewer at some point, and a lot of those are fed by imagery from ArcGIS Online's Living Atlas. So it's really important for that reason. This imagery is also really important in the development of swipe maps, showing change over time. And swipe maps can be built in a couple of different ways. There's a really easy, stupidly easy way that, I mean, it takes you all of 5 seconds to build a swipe map. There's a better way of building one in Web App Builder that allows you to give more control to the map user. But if you ever need a quick and dirty swipe map, it's a very simple thing to create. But these are the kinds of swipe maps that are often used with looking at natural disasters, looking at environmental change from like deforestation, urban sprawl, farmland destruction, you know, you name it, and then just looking at a historical map versus a current map. So the next video will show how to build a quick and dirty swipe map so that you can add that to your arsenal of skills in building web mapping applications. So the next section that we'll be getting into then will be looking at with analysis tools in ArcGIS Online, and I'll continue with that after you take a break.